The time is 4:30. This is WKYT This Morning. We're learning more about a man who was shot by state police in Scott County. Details of what we know now just ahead this morning.
4 people are facing charges in connection to 2 Lee County murders. They'll be in court today. We'll have the latest on the investigation.
And today, testimony begins in the trial of a man accused of killing and dismembering his girlfriend. More on that trial and the weather forecast coming up on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome. Good to have you with us. Bright and early, dark and early still. We'll be honest with you here on this Tuesday. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Technically, yes. Speaking, it is dark. Micah, when will it be light and nice and sunny, right?
Well, it's not going to be today because we're going to have some showers and thunderstorms today and for tomorrow and the next several days. We're just back into this rainy pattern that we're going to be locked into at least through the weekend. Now, how far off into next week, we'll have to see how that works out. But as of right now through the weekend, at least a daily threat at rain chances. Temperatures are there in the mid-70s outside early this morning. We travel off into the afternoon, 87 degrees, pretty much where we actually met yesterday with our temperatures in the some upper 80s. That's pretty much where we'll be today, but a few storms now in the forecast, and not just southeastern Kentucky. So we'll show you that. I'll have that in your forecast in just a few minutes.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit. And in the news, investigators have released some new details about a shooting involving state police. They say police shot and killed 34-year-old Juan Godines of South Carolina during a chase in Scott County.
It happened late yesterday afternoon along Midway Road, not far from the Woodford County line. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy talked to police about why they were chasing the Godines.
The chase that ended here Monday afternoon started Monday morning. Kentucky State Police Trooper Bernie Napier says overnight a husband held his wife against her will.
This morning the male subject dropped the female subject off at work, and that's when she reported the domestic violence from the night before.
They planned on charging him with domestic violence and unlawful imprisonment. They were prepared to arrest him when he picked her up from work, but that's when troopers say he saw them, took off, and left a lot of damage.
Multiple agencies had vehicle damage.
Trooper Napier says the man crashed his car on Midway Road, then took off running toward nearby Elkhorn Creek.
The dog started howling. About 15 minutes later, we heard sirens and lots of gunfire going on behind the house back here, back and forth gunfire.
Lisa Savage wasn't sure what was happening behind her property.
We were scared, yes. It's not uncommon. Occasionally we'll hear people hunting back there, but this sounded way more than just a hunter. It sounded back and forth and very close.
Neighbors told us shortly after they heard those gunshots, they watched a chopper land just beyond the tree line.
The creek's right down there, and my property goes to the middle of the creek line.
State police say they shot and killed the man. The Woodford County coroner says he died on the Woodford bank of the creek. In Scott County, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Police say the suspect, Juan Godines, was armed at the time. We do not know how his wife is doing this morning. Multiple agencies helped with the chase, including the Scott County Sheriff's Office. Investigators have now identified some human remains found near a Clark County road last Friday. State police say the remains are that of 38-year-old Robert Jones of northern Kentucky, who disappeared July 3rd. The remains were found off Goshen Road near Winchester. Police say Jones and his girlfriend, Crystal Warner, were murdered. Warner's body has not been found. The couple last seen alive in Washington County. State police have charged Craig Pennington with their murders.
4 people facing charges in connection to 2 murders in Lee County will face a judge today. The 4 were charged after police found one victim's body Friday and the other Saturday. A judge set a $1 million bond for each suspect. WKYT's Garrett Weimer talked with family members of the man who was found dead Saturday.
They called him Jim Bob. The past couple days haven't been easy for his family.
I hope the ones that did this to my cousin, they know that God knows what they've done, and God will get even.
Jim Bob's cousin asked that we not identify her because of her own ongoing legal issues. She says Jim Bob had his problems, but he didn't deserve to be murdered.
It's not worth having to hold on to memories.
As soon as she read online that a second body had been found in Lee County, she says she just had a feeling it was her cousin James Brown. It was. The jail says bonds for all 4 suspects have been set at $1 million.
What's your reaction to that?
I can tell you right now, my cousin's getting ready to be put under the ground forever, while these pieces of, can I say it over the camera? These pieces of they're going to get out of jail. They're going to get to walk free. They're going to get to have Christmas. Thanksgiving, holidays with their family.
Her concern now is that the suspects will post bond and be back on the streets. What do you want to see happen?
What I want to see happen, I can't see. I want them in the ground. I want them put where they just put my cousin. But by law, I can't get to do that. I want them life in prison, no parole, not getting to spend time with their family. See how they feel.
Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And all 4 of the suspects are scheduled to be in court later this morning. Testimony will begin today in a Lexington murder trial. Court workers tell us a jury has been seated for Paris Charles's trial, and opening statements were held yesterday. The trial is expected to last 2 weeks. Police charged Charles with murder in the 2014 death of his girlfriend Goldia Massey. They say parts of Massey's body later washed up along the Kentucky River in Jessamine and Henry counties.
A fire in Lexington forced some people living in an apartment building out of their homes for part of the night. Firefighters say the fire started in the bedroom of an apartment at Augusta Arms on Augusta Court. Crews said they were able to keep the fire from spreading very far.
Yeah, we got here quick. It was put out rather quickly. Luckily, it was confined to the one room.
Firefighters say a sprinkler system did cause some minor damage to the building elsewhere, and they say that the electricity had to be shut off to 2 apartments because of that fire. Firefighters say paramedics checked out one man at the scene for possible injuries, but he did not have to go to the hospital. They're still trying to figure out what caused the fire.
Family members of a boy who drowned in a pond at Lexington Cemetery say something needs to be done to keep people from falling into the water there. Investigators say 11-year-old Shannon Davis was fishing with friends on Sunday when he fell into the pond. He is the second person to die after falling into that pond in the last week. DeShannon's family says his mother had warned him not to go back to the pond after the first drowning. While there were some no fishing signs at the pond, the boy's family wants more to be done to keep people away from the water.
I'm hoping to get with the cemetery people, and I actually want to put a fence around the lake to where kids can't go and fish in it, or if they can go and fish, they won't fall in the lake. The lake will be protected.
Lexington cemetery leaders did not want to comment. Police say they have talked with the cemetery about making some repairs to a fence to make the pond more secure.
What police say began as a search for a missing person ended with an Ohio fugitive and 8 other people taken to a Laurel County jail. Police say Thomas Scott's family reported him missing. They say they then received a tip that he was at a home on Arthur Ridge Road in Laurel County. They say that they found out that Scott was actually a fugitive. When police showed up at the home, they say 8 people there denied knowing where Scott was, but they say they found him hiding in a bedroom. Police say they arrested him and charged the other 8 people with hindering prosecution and alcohol intoxication. One of the people charged says she didn't do anything wrong.
My side is I saw Tommy's truck pull up. A guy and a woman was in it. I did not see Tommy. And we told the officer, go ahead, look in Tommy's home. Well, he came out with Tommy, and when they said, yeah, he's got Tommy, we're like, we didn't know.
Police say Scott was wanted in Ohio for child neglect.
The state's Public Service Commission has approved a compliance plan for Kentucky utilities to close and cap coal ash ponds. The ash comes from power plants. Kentucky utilities will spend $675 million to meet the new federal environmental requirements for coal ash ponds at 5 sites. The PSC says KU will raise rates as part of its plan, and the rate hikes will peak in 2022. It's first day of school today in some Kentucky counties.
Kids in Casey, Powell, and Pulaski counties will have their first day back. Many schools in our viewing area, including Fayette County, head back tomorrow. So kids, if you don't go back until tomorrow, enjoy your last day of freedom for the summer.
Here it is, that's right. And WKYT this morning just getting started. Great to have you with us. We have a lot more news to tell you about as we get your Tuesday off and rolling.
Do kids need a before-school checkup? Mom's Everyday checks in with a pediatrician to find out up next.
And there's really not much going on right now, but I'll tell you this, later on this afternoon, we will see at least the chance of showers and thunderstorms. I'll show you when those spark up coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
At noontime yesterday down in southeastern Kentucky, because of the rain, because of the cloud cover, we were in the mid-70s, and guess what? We're there early this morning. So it just shows you that some warmer air is coming, more moisture, cloud cover. That'll keep those temperatures up as we go throughout the night. 74 degrees right now in Lexington, and that goes for London, Corbin area. Frankfort coming in mid-70s. Not much to talk about this morning. Maybe a little patchy fog down towards southeastern Kentucky, where we actually had some pretty heavy rain in the mountains of southeastern Kentucky. So that caused some problems yesterday, and it looks like we could have some problems once again for today, as showers and thunderstorms will be on the increase. You can look southbound and see those heading our direction. Morning hours, small chance of rain. Afternoon, that is your best bet once again. So let's go through it. Let's go hour by hour. Let me take you through it. Here's the breakdown, and you get into your afternoon, and showers and thunderstorms will be with us. And like I said, these are scattered. Not everybody will see the rain. Once again, it looks like once we hit through your weekend, at least your weekend, we'll still have those chances of rain. But yeah, all in all, it's just going to be a wet pattern in store, and some of us will pick tremendous amounts of rain up. Some of us 1 to 2 inches now through the weekend, which if you span that out, if you spread that out, 1 to 2 inches of rain, it's really not that much as we head off towards your weekend. But if you do it in 2 hours, 3 hours, that's the problem. Wet pattern with that front heading our direction, and that'll head through once again your Thursday and Friday off towards your weekend. 40 to 60% chance of rain each and every single day. I'm not seeing one day that has the better opportunity, but as you get closer to these days, obviously the confidence grows with these weather models. But flash flood threat will, no doubt about it, be our main concern traveling throughout the next 6 to 7 days. Still hoping. Some models are continuing to push it out there after Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, and often towards next week. Doesn't look all that bad, but some of the models are actually keeping it there. So it's just something to watch out for. It's still a week away, so we'll be able to jot that down very shortly. But you can see every single day, at least the chance of rain in the forecast, and these could add up very rapidly. So we just got to watch that flash flood threat. And throughout the next several days, that take you off into your weekend, guys. As I was saying earlier, that some get the rain, some do not. That's going to be the same story every single day, but it does look like those heavy downpours will be the problem, be the issue as we head off towards your weekend.
Okay, we will
Good to know.
Deal with it, plan accordingly.
That's right.
Thank you so much. 4:45 now. We know the kids need regular checkups, but what about before school starts?
Moms Everyday talks to a pediatrician in today's Moms Everyday Minute.
Before school starts every year, I would make sure that your child has had their yearly checkup. It doesn't necessarily have to be right before school, but they need to have had a yearly checkup in the preceding year, just to make sure that they're growing and developing well, to make sure that their immunizations are all up to date. That's going to make sure that they're healthy and ready to go before the school year starts. So I definitely would recommend just the routine checkups and making sure you're up to date with everything as far as health maintenance. I do have a lot of parents that worry, understandably, about starting school and worry about their kid having difficulty socially or not fitting in, or even things like bullying and that type of thing. And I mean, those things are out there, and that is hard, and that can certainly be anxiety provoking for a parent. But I just encourage them to just have good open communication with their child and make sure they're just asking good questions and keeping dialogue open.
For these tips and more, just go to WKYT.com. Click on Moms Every Day.
And we have the latest news and weather for you right there as well all the time. Hey, it's great to have you with us. WKYT this morning on the air live now, 4:46 on your Tuesday.
Donald Trump has unveiled his plan for the nation's economy. We'll have a look at it and more campaign coverage after the break. Welcome back. It's 4:49. Donald Trump has unveiled his plan for the nation's economy in an effort to try to get his campaign back on track.
It had some specifics to it. His supporters and critics have been asking for that, and Hillary Clinton was quick to respond. Craig Boswell has the latest from the campaign trail.
Donald Trump read off the teleprompter and stayed on message as he promised to make America grow again.
These reforms will offer the biggest tax revolution since the Reagan tax reform.
Trump scrapped his original tax plan and unveiled a less expensive one drafted by House Republicans with income tax brackets of 12, 25, and 33%. The businessman also called for full deductions of child care expenses.
No one will gain more from these proposals than low and middle income Americans.
His speech to the Detroit Economic Club was punctuated 14 times by protesters. Trump is looking for a much-needed surge of support following today's address. According to a new Monmouth University poll, Hillary Clinton has taken a double-digit lead over the businessman. Clinton toured a brewery in Florida Monday and pledged to help small businesses grow. The former Secretary of State called Trump's economic plan a repackaging of trickle-down economics.
I intend to make the wealthy pay their fair share to build this economy.
She also mocked Trump's economic team, made up of 13 white men.
He's got 6 men named Steve.
Clinton will offer her vision for the nation's economy in a speech in Detroit on Thursday. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
50 former national security officials signed an open letter opposing Trump, claiming he would make the most reckless president in American history. Trump responded by saying those officials are to blame for the rise of ISIS. And we are learning more about the death of a child at a Kansas water park. Police now say the 10-year-old boy died of a neck injury he suffered while riding the world's tallest water slide. They say he was one of 3 passengers riding in a boat on the slide on Sunday. But investigators say they are still trying to figure out what led to the accident.
Leaders of Cumberland Gap National Park say vandals have damaged a piece of history there. The park says the vandals carved into a Civil War cannon that's on display. They say they spent about $20,000 restoring the cannon. They think it could cost thousands of dollars to repair the damage.
And that's an actual artillery piece. It's a part of actual history, and it's there to be enjoyed. But I got really upset and angry to see it defaced that bad.
The park says they will press charges against the vandals if they're caught. Once it's ready to be on display again, they say the cannon will be placed near the park headquarters. A Jefferson County judge allowed a burglary suspect to see his newborn son for the first time during a hearing.
James Roeder and his wife Ashley are both co-defendants in a burglary case. Judge Amber Wolf had ordered them not to have contact with each other. And during that time, Ashley gave birth to a baby boy. On Friday, both James and Ashley had hearings in the case, and in between the 2 hearings, Judge Wolf made an exception to her order and allowed James to see his 1-month-old baby.
She called my attorney up to the bench and whispered something to him, and he come to me and said, "Would you have any objections to James meeting his son?" And I said, "Absolutely not."
Making a temporary exception right in front of me on the record so that you can meet this baby. This is your son.
Judge Wolf later says when she heard James had not seen his son, she saw an opportunity to make that happen, and she did not want to pass on that. All right, 4:53 now, 7 before 5 on WKYT. And coming up, we'll have a look at some of the news stories that we're working on for you this morning.
We'll also have another look at your morning forecast.
Hey, good morning again, and welcome back in. We're approaching 5 o'clock, 4:56 now on WKYT.
It's time to take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
All 4 people charged in connection with 2 murders in Lee County will be arraigned today. We'll have more on the investigation as some of the answers as to what in the world happened there coming up in the next few minutes.
You now have more time to comment on Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin's proposed changes to the Commonwealth's Medicaid program. We'll explain ahead on WKYT this morning.
And we're watching weather on this last day of, we've called it last day of freedom for some students because a lot of classes start tomorrow. Some schools are also starting today. Here's Micah.
Yeah, and that's going to be the case as we travel off into your afternoon. There's chances of rain for those students coming home. Not so much going to school, but coming home. So parents, keep that in mind. Teachers, keep that in mind. We're at 74 degrees there in Lexington, mainly dry this morning. Head toward noontime, 82 degrees. By the afternoon, we're sitting at 87, pretty much where we finished off yesterday. So it's not the feeling that's going to be different. Yes, you'll have moisture around. Yes, that humidity will be up. But it's those storms that will move into the forecast. Some will see those and some will not. That goes every single day. I'm going to break down that forecast and we'll talk all about your weekend because your weekend's a big time. Some of these weather models are moving out the rain chances after Sunday. Some of them are keeping them with us. So we're going to talk about which way I'm leaning for that and show you what's back behind that coming up.